Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another exciting moment here where we analyze and discuss and digest, of course, very sensitive issues bordering on social, political, and economy sphere as it borders on the Nigerian populace and, of course, across the nations of the earth. We are here and committed to that very cause and serving humanity. If this is your first time watching us here in Corwave TV, I may want to say you're most welcome. Please kindly hit the subscription button, like our videos. Please like our videos, subscribe to this channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're good to go. Thank you for being part of this great family. In today's discussion, we shall be, of course, deliberating on a very important issue bordering on the societal norms and values. And where we have been so far, especially in Nigeria, among the teeming populations of the youths, what exactly is the older ones passing to us? You can imagine the level of poverty and of course, vulnerability that have heated up the space, and people have becoming morally insensitive. Of course, and it appears that their heart and their conscience have been seared because of the level of damage that has been done. You can imagine that a boy of 29, a young man of 29, killed her own sister and slept with the corpse. And in a bid, of course, in a desperate bid to become rich and get out of the net of poverty, the entire society has been impoverished due to the recklessness and insensitivity on the part of the said governments who would have created enabling environment and inspire hope to the teeming populations of her own youths, of her own citizens. But unfortunately, the reverse has been the case, where you see public office holders, especially within Nigeria, cutting away with billions of dollars. And you see, of course, their own state of people around them, even the society, be stripped of what they should have been used to better their lot. And this have negatively impacted on the entire society, cutting across families. You can imagine a fact that a man, to the extent that this young man claimed after being arrested by the police, made submission that even her own mother encouraged him to do such dastard act in a bid to escape poverty. Most families within Nigeria are strictly poor. I mean, by poor, I mean below poverty line. Of course, as has been in the public domain, international satisfied statistics data proves that over 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. By that simple submission, which of course is a reflection of what we are seeing here today, that people could even encourage their own children uh, to do whatever possible because it appears is a moment or a point at which they become so desperate and having no other option to fall back on. Because looking right and left, it appears that no hope. And really, that is what could push a man to such extent. But could such a person be exonerated from such inhumanity from some that start out coming from a mother who conceived a daughter and carried her for 9 good months after delivery, and the daughter possibly may have become of age, and you instructed, encourage your own son in a bid, of course, to escape poverty. In a bid to escape the scourge of poverty, you have to offer your own daughter. It is a cruel uh, dealing with humanity, is a wicked and dastard art. But would you also only blame the lady or the man who was cajoled into believing that rituals with human body or with human blood could solve the problem, the economic problem they have been plunged into as a result of insensitivity and misgovernance of the people within the corridor of power who should be held responsible. In this case, I would want to know what is your own suggestions or comment, opinions in regards to this subject of discussion here today. Let's know what is the problem and who should be held responsible. Of course, the police have, of course, arrested and questioning the boy, and possibly could also go after the uh, their own cronies or people, the herbalists, those who encourage such vices in order to, of course, bring them to justice. But the damage has been done, an irreparable one for that matter. What lesson can we learn from this as a society? The society is now driven by material quests, uh, regardless of whatever or however it comes. What matters is let's flex the money, let's, of course, run the party. And this has not in any way left us any better, because what people gravitate or tends towards adopting is to see you with flashy cars, living large, and this has even affected the older ones. You can imagine a mother encouraging her own son to kill her sister, slept with the cops, and on their way to dump the, of course, the remains after possibly they may have, of course, uh, carried out some rituals or whatever uh, requirement that may have been instructed by the herbalist, and they're going to dump the remains at the Ikorodu River or whatever. They were unfortunate to have been arrested. This lady has gone. She has the life to live. Is it a mistake that she was born in Nigeria or in that particular family? Was she responsible for the misfortune? Was she responsible for the economic mishap? Perhaps that have impacted negatively to that family. Why should she be used as a sacrificial lamb at the expense of her own life? This is very important. Please, parents and siblings and families who might be watching me, please, it's a moment of reflection, and we must draw an important and vital lesson from this. We cannot continue to pressure or pressurize our children, or of comparing them with other people who you do not know their means and source of wealth. You shouldn't be tempted to do so, because it has negative impact and implication, which might possibly affect you and the society. It's unfortunate. What could be the state of that woman at this time? having been, of course, arrested and caught up with this wickedness. Would she also have the money? Has she been able to solve that problem? Has she been able to run away from that poverty? Has she been able to acquire the wealth and the money and the glamour and, of course, throw parties with her, with the blood of her own daughter? What a cruel society. Well, in as much as we continue to blame the mother and the child or the young guy, of course, the society has its own share of this blame because it's a function of what the society represents. When people could no longer, of course, have the basic uh, uh, necessities of life. Basic, I don't mean just a moderate, just to have the lowest standard of life in Nigeria. People are tempted, of course, to do otherwise as a way of survival, as a way of course, keeping themselves alive. But that's notwithstanding, we must imbibe the uh, moral, family, or societal morals must be entrenched and encouraged within the society. That comes from the family. If the families and children are not, of course, given the right orientation, the right guidance, and mentorship is very important in this case. The young guy possibly should be cooling, of course, behind the bars and might possibly be regretting her dastard, the dastard art he indulged in, and her sister is no more. What an emotional upheaval. What could be going through his mind at this time, even the mother? Is it true? Could that be true that this is the true mother of that daughter? A man, the young man of 29, named Amos Olale, is unfortunate that you have gone down in history in the most despicable and cruel manner, that you could kill your own sister just for material quests. What a shame. But then that is a true reflection of Nigeria. What is Nigerian government doing to alleviate the sufferings of the Nigerian people? It is no longer suffering and smiling. People are desperate. People are angry. People are no longer uh, impatient with what is happening around them, especially this season and this moment. That is why, of course, the judiciary or the Presidential Election Tribunal must act, of course, and come with clean hands to dispense justice. Let us get it right for once, so that we can have a sense of belonging. And of course, the society, we can build a society where we can trust, where we can be proud to identify with, where the basic and the essence of government is the priority of the citizens' welfare. But we cannot have it when there is lawlessness, when there is abuse of power, when the democratic norms are being grossly violated, when people, of course, tends to take undue advantage of others because of how highly placed or how highly connected or wired they think they are. But society, a sense society, and this society is not built in such a with such a dastard or demeaning values. We must return back where we got it wrong. For us to get it right, of course, it must start with the leadership. When the leadership are corrupt, when they are not conscious of the actions and inactions, when they don't live up to the responsibility of course, entrusted to them, then it has a ripple effect on the entire masses. But of course, how could in a country of 200 or 180 or perhaps 150 population, you have more than close to 80 to 90% of her population are described as multidimensionally poor. What a tragedy. What an anomaly. Where do we go from here? It becomes a subject of discourse. And not until we come your way some other time. Please, I want you to let us know your own contribution and response to this issue. Do you, of course, encourage the societal decadence, of which I believe is not, you do not be possible. But what do you think could be done to get out of this wood anytime soon? Do you envisage the possibility of a new society where, of course, values, moral values will be placed above material quests? Could that be possible in Nigeria or perhaps Africa? That is, of course, what everyone must ensure, and that must only come through sincerity of purpose. Because when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Let me leave you here until we come your way some other time. But meanwhile, please, if you're watching me this moment and you have not subscribed, please can use this opportunity to just hit the subscription button, like our videos so that this can get to so many homes and families. And they should understand what is getting on, what is going on within the society. And possibly most of the family or parents has contributed to this. How can you kill your own daughter because of desperate quest to avert the scourging and devastating effects of poverty? Well, of course, I may not blame them much because the society and the government uh, uh, could not be absolved of this complicity. Not until we get your way some other time. I remain Chigozie Ndebo, the host anchor, wishing you a pleasant and exciting day ahead.